Broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello traders, welcome to Wednesday's edition of Trade Ideas 301. This is the intermediate class, and hopefully you guys have spent some time in the first two that we had on Monday and Tuesday that Sean and Steve went over the beginners, and now we're going to get more into start dabbling in more advanced. Sean has joined me today, and say hello, Sean.
Hello, everybody.
All right, I see Mike C in there. Guys everywhere, it seems like. Yeah. All right, well, we got a decent size classroom. The way we're going to do it today, guys, is I'm going to just start pretty much going over topics here. You can kind of see the items we're going to talk about today. And we're just going to kind of go down the list. And if you have any questions pertaining to the material that we're going over, please don't hesitate to just go ahead and drop a question there. As we're, as I'm conducting the classroom, and we don't need to hold off on any questions that's pertaining to the material. Now, if you do have anything outside of our discussion today, please hold on to that till later on. After our last 30 minutes will probably be to go over any questions that you have. It'll be a Q&A, so there'll be plenty of time to answer any questions that you might have. So, yeah, Mike, you're like the plague. All right, so let's just go ahead and dive in, guys, and not waste any more time here. The first topic we're going to talk about is saving layout to the cloud. Let me just move my little curriculum out of the way here. And you learned, I believe through Sean, how to save individual windows to the cloud. Real quickly, it's really simple. You just right-click in any window, find the little cloud, and hit save. And all you have to do, if you're not sharing it with anybody, is just hit the save, and that will save it to your cloud. You can find anything in your cloud simply by going to the channel bar at the very top and finding My Cloud, and just clicking on it. It will pull up everything that you have saved to the cloud. But did you know you can also save your entire layout to the cloud? This can be very advantageous if you're going on vacation somewhere and you want to take your laptop and pull up your layout. Well, if you have it saved in the cloud, you can do that. Or if you want to pull it up at the office, same as the office. And the easiest way the only way to do that is to find your toolbar, go to File, and you want to find Save or Share to Cloud, and then just click on Entire Layout. Okay, and when you do that, a layout's going to appear over here. And the best thing to do is go ahead and give it a date. So that way, when you're going through your cloud, maybe you see an older version that you want to get rid of, but you'll know the most recent version just by by giving it a date, and that way you'll know it. And just hit save. I'll go ahead and save this layout and show you how. And that's basically all there is to it. Go to My Cloud now. I see the layout that I saved last week, and I see the one that I saved today. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and delete this one. It's always good every now and then to go into your cloud and maybe just go through and delete things that you have duplicates of. You will, it will start to drag a little bit if you just get. Trust me, I know, because I just cleaned mine out for the first time the other day, and I had.
Yeah, I think I need to do a spring cleaning as well.
yeah, it can really build up in there. All right, and guys, also Sean taught you how to build a simple alert. Well, what I'm going to do today is show you how to better refine your alerts. Okay, this is a lesson that's very good for beginners. It's actually good for intermediate traders as well, and somebody who's been using the software. A lot of time you get kind of complacent with your very simple alerts, and maybe you're getting too much data come through. This extreme volume high-low pro is one that I have filtered pretty good, so I'm not getting a lot of symbols coming through. You can see a lot of these are repeats, and I'm going to show you how to do that today. So let's just start by quickly building a new alert window. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because Sean went over that, but what we're going to do here is just start from scratch. We're going to go to our handy dandy search function, and we see new high down there. We're just going to build a new high alert and give it, remember, always double confirmation. You got to check it. We're going to leave it defaulted to today. If we leave it, by doing that, what I'm saying here is this box right here, if you don't put anything in it, it's defaulted for intraday high only, or not only, but intraday high. So let's add a few filters real quick. Let's say price above $5, average 10-day volume. Let's put 500,000. Let's put change from the close. Where can I find that? Change from the open. Now remember, if you can't find anything, you can quickly go to your search function, start typing it in, change from the close percentage I want. There it is. I'm going to add filter and just say this is 0.01. And let's see. That's pretty basic.
It's probably important to point out that your Windows specific filters tab already has a lot of these filters already preloaded because
Correct.
You've used them recently in different scans. But for other people, it might not look like this. It might be nothing in here.
It may look like this, or very simple, or may have a few in there. What I did is I hit hide unused, and it basically hid all the filters I wasn't using. But he's correct. Sean did go over that, but he's correct. So if you look in your filters and you don't see everything I have, just remember you can go and add anything by using the handy dandy search function. So, so that being said, let's just say we build a very simple high alert with these filters in here right now. And we click OK, and we just call this new intraday high. And click OK. All right, we already see several things coming through, and they're coming through pretty fast here because we don't have a lot of filters in here. Okay, this is too much information. There's too much stimulus coming through. Your mind can't comprehend, can't follow all this. So what we want to do is refine this. We want to fine tune it. Okay, we want to come in so we're not getting so many alerts coming through there. So what I'm going to do is just right click, go back to my configuration window, and we're going to go add some more filters here. Okay, one thing I think is always important to do is maybe add a volume filter. Let's add 5-minute vol, and there's our filter, and we are going to increase this to, let's say, 5 times normal 5-minute volume. Okay, this is a percentage. 100% is normal, so if I put 500 in the minimum column and I clicked on my show me button, it's going to say the volume in the last 5 minutes is at least 500% of normal, or 5 times normal. All right, so we can just click OK right there. Let's add something else here. I only, I don't like to find stocks that are in what I call no man's land. This is very important. I just did a one-on-one session before this, and guy had a very similar alert window, and he was clicking through them, and I was seeing these charts that are doing volume and intraday, but they're in no man's land on the daily chart. And what I mean by that is they're stuck right in the middle of a 5-day range or a 10-day range. So very powerful alerts is called position in, and you can use abbreviations when you're searching. So I'm going to type POSIN, okay? And I look at all these position in range filters that we have. Guys, remember this. This is very important. If you, I know I say this over and over, and a lot of the regulars get tired of it, but if you can picture a chart in your head, you can pretty much build it with our position in range filters. So I'm going to choose a position in a 10-day range, okay? And I'm going to add filter. All right, so another point that's very important is to understand what range means, okay? When you're looking at a position in a 10-day range, it's only looking at the 10 prior days. It's not factoring in the current intraday range, okay? So it's only looking at the 10 prior days. So if a stock is ranging between $9 and $10 over the last 10 days, okay, you have a range of $1, okay? The low end of that range is 0%. The upper end of that range is 100%. Okay, so you have a $1 range, and the range is 0 to 100%. So if I come in here and I put minimum of 98, let's click our show me button. It's going to say the price is at least 98% above the low end of this range. So it's only 2% from going through the 10-day range. Now, we're not going to put a maximum in here in this case, because I don't care if stocks are hitting all-time high, lifetime high, whatever. I just want to make sure they're not stuck in a range. So I'm just going to click OK here. And now I've added just 2 filters that are really going to reduce the number of filters, alerts that are coming through my window now. So let's click OK. It's always a double confirmation when you make changes. It takes you to the summary window. And now we have stocks that are, I'm going to click in today. We're still going to get a lot of action because the market took off while we were right before we came into this webinar here. So, but I think what you're going to find is when you click on these stocks, you're going to see stocks that are potentially, breaking out of a 10-day range. There you go. So you're not finding, obviously, I can put a lifetime range. I could put a 52-week high in there, but I don't really want to do that. I just kind of want to make sure I trust my ability to read charts. I trust when I see this. Oh, I see congestion over here. The resistance line is showing me that, which is something I just now thought of. We need to add this to our curriculum somewhere. This resistance line. It's very important.
Yeah, it's a powerful feature too.
Very powerful feature, yes. Yes. So, but now you see at least you have stocks that are, potentially breaking out. Look at this one, just kind of breaking out of a beautiful little range there. And that's the kind of stuff you want to see. So this is how you can fine tune or refine your A windows to give you better quality, data coming through. Another one right there. If you would have caught that one early, as it breaks through a 10-day range.
Oh, that's a beauty.
Isn't it? Very powerful. DO started coming through, breaking out of a range. So guys, I can't tell you how important it is to use the filters. We have so many of them. Use them to your advantage. Don't just simply put in, oh, I want to find stocks on doing huge volume, hitting highs. Make sure they're going somewhere on the daily chart, okay? And by refining your alerts, you can do that. All right, external linking. And guys, we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on this because some of them are kind of quirky and you're going to need help. Okay, and we're going to direct you to trade-ideas.com. Find the little blurb at the bottom right of our website. Okay, that is our help chat room. Just go in there and tell them what you need. Just type in external link. I need help with external linking, and somebody will help you. But I am going to show you a basic instructions. And the first thing we'd like to do when you want to try it on your own, and we encourage you to try it on your own because we can't help everybody set this up, and a lot of people can do it on their own just by using basic instructions. Our most basic instruction is the linking with Trade Ideas to Lightspeed, and this will work with probably about 80% of the platforms out there, and it's very simple instructions. Come in, the first thing we're probably going to give you when you come into the chat room is this PDF right here, or if you use a certain platform that we have instructions for, and we do have about 10 of these, we'll give you the right one. So you can try to go in and do it on your own, because it's good to learn it on your own. When you get another computer and you want to link, it's handy to be able to do it on your own, and it's pretty basic, and you can just follow the instructions. It pretty much walks you right through it on how to do it. So I am not going to spend a whole lot of time. I will show you where this feature is. It's in your toolbar. You go to Tools, and you go to External Linking. And then what you're going to do is add link. Okay, you're going to get this little a pop-up box here to basically tell you what to do, and you're going to basically mouse over the window you want to link it to. This is usually a chart or your order entry window, your level 2 window, and you're going to mouse over it, and then you're going to hold down the shift key once you get over that window and release. Now, a little helpful hint here is if there is a box to input your symbol in on that window, you want to mouse over that box. So and then hold down the shift key, release. You can check the rule box here, and we have probably a dozen brokers in there, and if you see your broker, just click on it. It would automatically apply the rules. But for the most part, you have to check any of these boxes in here if you're just doing basic linking. So that's about it for that, guys. Once again, we'll give you the PDF to get you started, and if you have problems, you can come to our website, and we will actually do a remote and help you get logged in there. All right, basic back testing. Now, Jamie is going to go over this more in depth tomorrow, but I am going to go over this the basic back testing. Going to take you through the module, show you how it works. Maybe do a little bit of optimizing just on time and price. And Sean, I see some questions coming over there. Don't hesitate to interrupt me if
yeah, there was a question that came in from Greg. I think I handled him.
Okay.
I answered him directly on the thing. I think Greg's okay. If you're listening and you hear me and I wasn't clear, just hit me back and we'll talk about it.
Okay. All right. So let's go over basic back testing. Okay. And what I've done here, I have a window where I've already done some optimizing and back testing, but I took out a couple of things just so we can kind of work with it today, so I can take you through some of the steps. So this is a strategy called "Where's My Money?" It's a shorting strategy. So what we're going to do here, I'm not going to go through the configuration and all that. We're just going to go dive straight into the back testing. All right, so to back test, what you want to do is right click in any A window. It has to be an A window, okay? You need a timestamp and a price to do back testing on naturally. So what we're going to do is just click on back testing. It's going to pull up our little module here, all right? And very much like the window configuration, you're going to see tabs that we're going to go through, okay? The first one here is the start time. I recommend when you first back test, open up all the way. Okay, just open up the time all the way because you can optimize time. Okay, next thing, we're going to figure out what the exit is going to be. You can exit if you're back testing an intraday alert, maybe a day trading alert. You want to go to use toggles for how long you want to hold the trade based on minutes. Okay, you can take it all the way to the end of the day, or if you just want to do it for 30 minutes, you could do that as well. You can also back test based upon at the market open and the market closed on ever how many days. Okay, I'm going to do this one for 3 days, and I'm going to close it out at the market. At the market close tomorrow plus 3 days. Okay, then you're going to go to your risk management tab. This is a very important feature. You've got to limit your downside. Okay, so you want to at least put in a stop loss. Targets are not as important. You can put those in. Steve likes to do a target of like 3 to 1. I found that if I just let these things run until the timed exit, they work better for me, but to each his own. That's something you can just experiment around with. But you're going to have dollars or percentage, you know, based upon your stop loss and your profit target. I like to use percentage because percentage is more relative than dollars. So we use a percentage, and on this one, I am doing it 2%. So if the stock moves against me 2%, it will exit me out of my position in the back testing. All right, advanced. Not going to go into this. You are going to be defaulted for use columns from my strategy. I'm just going to tell you this, and Jamie will go over it more tomorrow. You want to use all available columns. That way you can add as many optimization features as you want. So that one, like I said, Jamie will go over this more tomorrow. I'm kind of keep it simple here today. All right. And also you'll have a toggle here to backtest the number of days you want to. I recommend, to get a good sample size, just go ahead and open it wide open. All right, because the more, the merrier when it comes to, backtesting, I think. All right, and then you're gonna go to your summary tab. It's just gonna basically tell you everything that you've done. All right, and then we're gonna hit simulate cell. Since it's a short, we are gonna hit simulate cell, and it's gonna run through this backtest optimization, and hopefully it looks like it's going pretty good. That's good.
It's always that last 5%.
Yeah.
Oh, but look,
exactly.
It's zipping today. Look
That
at what you do.
I don't know.
Did you grease that thing?
I guess somebody did, because it wasn't the case this morning. It was a little bit slow.
Oh, now watch, the last 0.5% is going to take forever.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm impressed.
Now we're cruising. All right. So here's the back testing without any optimization. Okay, we have it wide open. But what we're going to do here today now is just, I'm going to show you how to optimize based on time and price. Those are the two most, I think they're the easiest to back test, and I think they're the best to back test. So real quickly, what this is, when you do your summary here, you're going to get what's called a profit factor. That is simply base profits divided by losses on each trade. Okay, so if during your back test you made $10,000 of profits and you lost $10,000 on your losses, that would be a profit factor of 1. Okay, anything, you start getting above 1.75, that starts getting interesting. Anything above 2 is pretty good, and then you start dancing around the 3 level, this starts getting really good. So and it shows you your total trades. Okay, these are all the trades that came through the alert that has closed. Now remember, I have a hold time of 3 days in here. Okay, so any position or any alert that came through the last 2 days will not be optimized yet, because obviously they have not closed, so we do not know what the P&L is going to be on those as far as the closing price goes. All right, average winner, this is important too. You want your average winner to be greater than your average loser. In this case, we got over a 2-to-1 win-loss ratio. That's pretty good. It's real good, actually. All right, so but let's see if we can optimize this on time and price and see if we can get this better. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at time of day. All right, I'm seeing some red down there at the bottom. So let's just take this interval from 60 minutes down to 30 minutes. And I see here, got a lot of trades that went off, in the first 30 minutes. That's okay. Saw a drop off there. I'm not sure if that's just an anomaly, maybe 1 or 2 big losers. I don't know, but it's not enough for me to saw off this early going. So this first 30 minutes, that's a really good winning percentage and profit rate. But I do see it kind of losing steam down here at the bottom. You can see here it drops off after about 2 o'clock in that last hour. I'm on Central Time, so it does drop off here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this again and just run it to 2 o'clock. I kind of like to do time first. Okay, so I'm going to keep that summary up over here, and then I'm going to go to this, and I'm going to run it again. All you do is go to backtest strategy again, and you take your little toggle and you shave off that last hour, and you hit simulate cell. All right, so it's going to run again. I'm not expecting. Go ahead.
This might be a good time, as this is running, for me to just address a question that came in. User Armin was asking, why do we run backtests? What's the purpose of these backtests? And really, the simple answer is if you've created a strategy, you want to know how that would have performed in the past. I mean, are you onto something here? At the very least, you want to see some profits, and if it's profitable, that will give you confidence going forward to continue following that strategy. And on the flip side, if you built a strategy and you ran a back test and it's showing you nothing but red, Well, you probably want to make some changes to that thing or just throw it in the garbage can because you're probably not going to outsmart your own system.
Exactly right. Very well said, Sean. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Now, I do find that back testing works better for me on a kind of a swing trading time frame versus it's really hard to do back testing. That's what an optimization when you're talking about a 30 or 60-minute hold. That's why we have Holly for. She's really good at that because she can take it and just run the gauntlet through all of our filters and run so many different scenarios. That doesn't mean it can't be done. I do have several that I've done on my own, but I do find it it's easier to manipulate and work on a swing time frame versus a day trading time frame.
I would agree with that as well.
Mm-hmm. There's too much noise in the intraday. That's the problem. Right. Yeah, too much high frequency trading. All right, so look what we got. Gosh, guys, just by shaving off the last hour of time, look at the difference between this summary versus the last summary. Okay, we only knocked about, let's see, 41 trades off, but look at the winning percentage, jumped off 5%, and look at our profit factor. So that is huge, just by simply, shaving off some time. So real quickly, we'll see if there's any advantage to the price. And I thought I opened this wide open, but I guess I didn't, guys. I'm sorry. I'm not seeing any advantage here. What I was going to do before, I think I was supposed to open this wide open to 200, but you can see if I did that real quick. Let's just let me just go ahead and do it real quick to show you what you could do. Let's just go in here and go to, because I grabbed the wrong one. That's what it was. So we're going to go into configuration real quick, and we'll just open up and just change this to 200. Okay, and now let's back test it. And we'll see. I'll show you how to do it with price real quick. All right, so you can see there the difference just from time would be about improvement of 30 cents on the profit factor. But now if I went into optimization, and this is what I wanted to do for you, and let's shave this down to $10 on the price. And you can see here, if I had this wide open I say wide open to $200, I can see here that it really starts to drop off. After about 69.90, that's still pretty good. 109 to 120, that's not actually that bad either. But you can see here it starts to die off a little bit toward the end, and I think this would probably be the cutoff. So the way you could do this is just right-click in it. You set max value to 89. It will actually go into the window configuration for you and set this up. Okay, so what we're going to do here is hit OK. Okay, and now we're going to run it again. Now that we've optimized the price and the time. Simulate sell. And there you have it. So basically, just by optimizing price and time, we were able to take this thing from a profit factor of 2.63 and a winning percentage of 55 to basically 3.32 and a winning percent to over 60. So, and once again, Jamie is going to show you how to go into other filters tomorrow and optimize based upon any filter that you want to, and it becomes a rabbit hole, guys. And this is something that's just going to take time and play around with, and just spend a lot of time doing. I can't tell you how many hundreds of hours I've spent back testing. Oh gosh.
It's right. Definitely a rabbit hole you could fall down.
It is, but it can be very addicting too. Oh. All right, guys, using collaboration feature A to M. Steve got in here and messed around with the wording here, collaboration. So what he's talking about is going from an A window to an M window. All right. So Steve yesterday taught you about a multi-strategy window. This extreme volume high-low pro is a multi-strategy window. If you look in here, you're going to see two different strategies: extreme volume short. Okay, you can have as many strategies as you want in one window. I don't recommend doing too many, but nonetheless, you can have, I've seen them up to 50, but it's too much for me. All right, so let's say you want to build an M window, okay, and you don't want to go in each strategy and do it on your own. Manually go in there and configure each window because you already have your A windows. You just want to combine those into one M window. Very easy to do, guys. We go to New. Remember, you can find everything that we have in the New tab. We're going to go to Multi-Strategy window. It is going to be blank. All right, well, let's say I want to add Where's My Money and Squeeze Me and put them in one window, okay? So what I want to do here is collaborate. I want to collaborate these two windows and put them into the new multi-strategy window. So what we do here is you right-click inside the window, okay? You're going to find the word collaborate. Just click on it. Now, when you do that, it's going to pull up your code, and you need to copy this to export it into the M window. So what you're going to do is go copy all. Okay, now that you have your code in your cursor, you can go over here and you can go to Strategies, New Strategy, Collaborate. And now you want to paste it in there. So I just pasted this code into this strategy, and now if I go here and show strategy, there's Where's My Money. So I got this strategy in this window. Okay, now I want to add a new strategy, and I want it to be Squeeze 52. All right, so I'm going to right click. Remember, guys, find Collaborate. There it is. There's my code. Got to copy that code and paste it over here. So we're going to copy all. Right click into your new M window, find strategies, and we're going to go to New Strategies and Collaborate. Paste all. Now I have Squeeze 52 in there, and Where's My Money? Okay, let's say now that I've done this, they're not going to come over with the same color coding as this window. All right, so you might want to color code them so you'll know what strategy it is when it comes through. So let's go to Squeeze 52 because Where's My Money doesn't have anything coming up right now, but we're going to go to Squeeze 52. We're going to colors. Okay, this is a long strategy, so let's do a foreground of maybe, let's see, let's go with green. Okay, and let's use a background of black. Okay. Okay, so there is my Squeeze 52, and what I would probably do in a situation like this, since Where's My Money is a short strategy, maybe I'll come in here and go to Where's My Money, go to colors, go foreground, red. No, let's do a little different. Let's do foreground black. Okay, and let's do background red. Okay. Okay, it's in there. We don't have anything in there right now, but if we wanted to, we could go to Where's My Money. No, we can't. We'd have to pop it out. But anyway, you'd have to trust me if something came through there. That window doesn't fire off an alert unless the S&P 500 is down at least 0.2%. Obviously, the S&P 500 is not down right now, so we're not getting any alerts coming through that. But anyway, guys, is there any questions on that? Sometimes we take it for granted because we've been doing this for so long, but I know, did everyone get that, or does anybody need for me to just run through it one more time? as far as how you combine two A windows into an M window? Okay,
Yeah,
looks like.
it's definitely a great strategy or a great best practice if you have a cluttered screen with a lot of alert windows.
Mm-hmm.
A great tool for kind of minimizing your screen real estate or freeing up some real estate, I should say.
Mm-hmm. And remember, guys, if you pull it over to an M window and you see these icons up here and you're like me and you don't like them, you'd rather see text headers, you can always come in here and go to properties and just get text headers, and then it'll pull it up for you. Can we optimize strategies when it's more than one alert? No, you have to only optimize one strategy at a time. So if you have these in here, you can go, where's my money? See, and I can back test it. Or I can go to strategy, squeeze 52, and I can back test that, but you cannot back test them simultaneously. Good question, Fernando. All right, so didn't have any more questions on that. I'm going to go ahead and close out these two, put this back over where it belongs. I can close out of that now. And we're going to venture on to advanced charting functionality. All right, guys. So I believe Sean went over some of the basics of how you can come in here and right click and mark up and use our annotation and trend lines and arrows and things like that. So I'm not going to spend any time on that today. Anything that you may have missed the last couple of days, those have been recorded. So you can go to our YouTube page and find those if you need to catch up on anything or brush up on anything. But I'm going to show you how to use other functions in our charts, okay? Sean also went over the properties as far as post-market, symbol linking, crosshairs, and all that. But we have added indicators to our charts. So let me pull up a new chart. This is the Qs, and it has everything in there. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and delete these indicators. Remove indicator. You see how I'm removing them? Just simply click on remove. All right, so now we have a very basic chart. All right, now we want to add some indicators. This is too plain. I want to add some stuff to it. Very easy to do, guys. Just right click, find indicators at the bottom, okay? And you want to say add SMAs. Okay, we're going to go down here, simple moving averages. We're going to click on SMA, and it's going to pull up your basically little configuration box here. The easiest way to do that is, I mean, if depending on what SMA you want, let's take, for example, I want to add a 10 period here. I'm just going to take out and put 10, SMA 10. I'm going to find the brackets. I'm going to highlight them, and I'm going to type in 10. Okay, I'm going to choose my color. 10, I like to use kind of a green, I believe, so I'm going to click on OK. So now I've set my color. OK. OK. So now you can see there I have a green 10 moving average. Let me get on something else, a better chart. Just put up the good old SPIs. All right, so I have a 10 moving average in the SPIs. Let's say I want to add another one. I want to add a 20. Right click, indicators. I'm going to come in here, add another SMA, and I am going to put 20 period. Missed that last little thing there.
Andy, you have different features than I have for this.
I do. Oh,
yeah, yours looks a lot different than mine.
Huh.
I believe. Let me just confirm that. I don't know if maybe a newer version it's changed.
You're probably going to modify. Are you going to modify?
Well, like when
you can't do it that way as well.
Well, when I right click on a chart and go to indicators, first of all, I have different options than you.
Oh no, yes, I downloaded the latest version from last night. I bet that's it. Yep.
Yep. I have not downloaded last night's version.
Okay. All right, so we're going to set color for our 20. We're going to come in here and we're going to choose red for 20. Okay, 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 and now we have the 20 period moving average. And of course, guys, you can see up in the upper margin there, you can see that we have our SMA 10. Okay, you watch them as they change as you go over the cursor. Go over each candlestick. It's going to tell you, where your SMA 10 and your 20 is. All right, let's say you want to add volume, okay, and you want to add it to a new chart area. You want volume at the bottom and not covering all and going over your candlesticks. So the way we do that is indicators. Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out what this one is. They added this create new indicator. I haven't dived into that yet, but we're gonna add volume here. All right. We got new chart area. That's where you defaults to that. So you don't want it in your main area. You want it in new chart area. Okay, it's going to say volume for you. All you really need to do is choose a color for volume. If you're like me, you like to use, I don't like one color. I like to use the green bars for up candles and red bars for down candles. So you can see here, I can set one color here, but if I want to go use up and down candle colors, I can go click there, set up color. Okay, I'm going to put in green. Okay, that's for my up color. And now I'm going to set down color. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to use red for my down color. Very simple. Okay, everything looks good. Okay, and now we have a new chart area with our volume in it. And you can see now that on the green candles, we have green bars, and on the down candles, they are coordinated with the color in the bars as well. All right, guys. One other feature that he may have not gone over, I can't remember, but if you, let's say you're scrolling and you forget to hold down the control key, in other words, or maybe you want to intentionally keep this bars the same size and you want to go back in time, and you go back 6 months and you're looking at candles and you don't want to have to scroll back all the way, we have a nifty little arrow down here that will automatically take you back to the most recent data. So that's about it. Let me see. No, Fernando, you do have the option to create indicators. If you don't, you probably need the most recent beta version that's on our website. Okay. So you do have access to all these. If you're talking about that create, I'm not sure what that is. Like I said, this is a new release. I just downloaded it this morning. Okay, and let me just click on it and see what happens.
Yeah, I think what Fernando is experiencing, what I'm experiencing, is that you may be on the latest beta that is only available to us internally, Andy. But the latest beta that's publicly available is version 0.28, which I don't believe has some of those extra indicators that you're showing right there.
Okay, I got you. Multi-period high, RSI. We have RSI, don't you?
Yeah.
You have VWAP?
Yes, I currently have VWAP, volume, SMA, RSI, EMA.
Okay. I'm not sure what this multi-period high is. I'll have to dive into that. Interesting. Yeah.
Well, this is a great opportunity, Andy, for us to point out the wonderful thing about Trade Ideas is we are constantly iterating this software, and we are rolling out new options or new versions almost on a weekly basis. So the product just keeps getting better and better at a mind-numbing pace. We can't even keep up, but we work here.
Exactly. All right, guys, let's see. Let's move on real quick. Why did this symbol show up in my scan? I am going to cover that when I get down here to don't repeat function and real time versus history. That's kind of redundant there, so I'm going to probably just end up taking this out because it will get covered in this last section. Advanced symbol list, daily candles. Steve so kindly gave me this responsibility to go over this. All right, guys, Steve covered this actually yesterday in the webinar. It's a really cool feature if you didn't know it existed. I'm going to show you here, and you can kind of look at it yourself. but we're going to go to new, and let's just build real quickly a new A window. All right. And we are going to configure, start from scratch. And we're going to add a couple alerts here. Let's just add a new high, and we're going to just add a price for over 5. Let's add some filters here. I'm just going to put 300,000. Keep it simple. I'm not. My idea is not to build a killer alert. I want to show you what you can find now in our. Well, it's been there for a while, but a lot of you guys may not have known it, or if you're new here, you're learning really at the very beginning when you should be learning it. So, if you go to symbol list, okay, we have some pre-configured symbol lists for you, okay. You're going to find, of course, a lot of mine are mixed in here with it. So, but if you click on it, you're going to find things like S&P 500, support, sector analysis is mine, but you'll see a list, okay. But what I wanted to show you is we have a list in here called daily. And what these are, if you click on the little plus, is you're going to find some daily candlestick patterns in there. So what our server does in the nighttime is it goes out and searches for these patterns, okay, throughout our database all evening long. And then the next morning, you will be able to find patterns that set up the day before pertaining to whatever you select. So for example, what we're going to do here is we're going to click on, let's click on hammer. Okay, we are going to search for hammer. So what I've done is I clicked on it, so I added it over here to my symbol list. So now I'm going to select only this symbol list. So what it's doing is it's now only focusing on the stocks that had a hammer set up in yesterday's price action. So now I'm going to, if I click OK, I'm not going to, well, let's call it hammer. Hammer high. All right, so we click OK here, and there we go. So let's take a look at this TISI. This is a stock that's meeting my filter parameters, but if I click on this, this should show me a hammer setup from yesterday. Let's hope it works. And there it is. You have your hammer yesterday. The new high is coming through today. So we have a stock that's hitting a new high that is doing it after a hammer. Now I could add some more volume filters and some more filters for, it's actually a pretty decent looking chart there. But let's go and see if anything else came through here today. So click on today, and you see TSI is the only thing. So you're not going to get a lot of, remember you guys, you're searching, your symbol list is the chart pattern, okay? So it's only going to show you stocks, in this case, that had a hammer pattern yesterday. So you're not going to see a lot of symbol lists in here, but it's a great way for you if you're looking for those patterns. And I don't have to set this up in an A window. I can set it up in a T window and just kind of watch the action as well. But anyway, remember that, guys, because if you are fond of certain, configuration, certain or patterns, I should say, go to the Add Existing List once again and click on that daily plus sign, and maybe you're into gravestone dojis, dark cloud cover, and it's going to. But keep in mind, this is the prior day's price action. Okay, these are not patterns that are developing in real time today. Okay, this is a scan of yesterday's price action.
Well, Andy, this is something new to me, man. I know this has been hidden here for a long time, but this is the first I've learned of it, and this is a really cool feature.
It really is. Yeah, I forgot, Sean. This was a kind of an introduction to you, wasn't it?
Yeah, this is the first I'm hearing of this.
Okay, well, good, man. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to play around with. I knew it was there, but I think they may have fine-tuned it since the first time I ever saw it, and I'm looking forward to maybe trying to building some alerts and optimizing them, based on these patterns for swing trading. All right, guys. So that covers that section. And now we're going to dive into, let me get me a little mint. Tell you what, I know what a teacher feels like now, huh? God. All right, go ahead.
Greg came in with a question that says, is it the
Mhm.
IPO Finder? I'm not exactly sure what he's asking there. Is it the
No.
I mean, Greg, I know one way, and this is something that just kind of came up recently. One way that we're able to find stocks that just IPO'd and just started trading, it's kind of a hack. And Andy, I don't know if you know this, but if you use the resume alert, which is the tandem to the halt or resume, right? The halt or the resume alert will actually show you a ticker that trades for the first time, which would be an IPO. It's not intuitive, but yeah, right there, Andy's showing you on the screen there. Usually people use halt and resume together to see stocks that have halted and then later resume trading. But if you use the resume, well, what it's going to do, it's going to show you stocks that resumed trading that may have been halted, but you'll also have IPOs pop up in here on their first print.
Mm-hmm.
Not a perfect solution for what you're probably looking for, but we'll certainly show those to you.
Yeah, check that out, because if you have this running and as soon as an IPO opens up, it's gonna pop up resume, so you'll know if it started trading. So if you click on it and you don't see anything in the daily chart, you know it's an IPO.
Hey Andy, I think something happened with your mic. You sound like you're 100 yards away now.
I forgot when I stuck the mint in my mouth. I kind of opened. I had to bite it off, so I didn't want to make a big biting sound in the mic, so I lifted it up. All right, guys, so let's go over the don't repeat function. Okay, guys, if you're using an A window or a multi-strategy window, as far as that goes, you can select what's called don't repeat. And the way you get to there is you go to history. I'm sorry, history, duh. You go to properties and you select, you can see this one is already checked for don't repeat, the squeeze 52. So you're saying, what does that mean? Well, if I click on this, it's going to tell me don't repeat symbol for 1 minute. Okay, so if you're using that, it's a great feature to minimize the amount of alerts that are coming through. In other words, if you have an explosive stock coming through, a lot of times it may throw 30 alerts in a row, in your window, and you might miss some other things. So this repeat function will stop that, because it's not going to allow that symbol to come through except for once a minute. Okay, so it's not going to, you can change this, you can change it to 5, 15, 30, whatever you want to. But something you need to remember when you're doing that is a lot of times what will happen is when you run a history on a stock, okay, say I want to go back and look in history. History is going to show you every symbol that came through, and it's not going to pay any attention to your don't repeat, okay? It's going to show you every single tick and basically ignore your do not repeat. Okay, it's just by default, it's going to show you everything that came through. So just keep that in mind when you're using the don't repeat function, that if you go and look in history and you see the symbol came through and you're like, wait a minute, this didn't come through mine, because I have caught many people arguing with me that, no, I did not receive this alert at this time. And the main reason is they had that don't repeat on. Okay, and maybe they missed the first one that came through, and then of course didn't come through for another minute. Stock got away from them, and that's because they had the do not repeat checked. So be careful when you're using that, because you can miss some things. And one other thing is when you're going from real time to history, okay, and there's some effects when that happened. Okay, so say I'm looking at this squeeze 52 and I just went to history. Remember, I had about 5 or 6 stocks in here before I went to history. Now, when I go back to real time, what happens? I lost all my data on there. Okay, it's going to give you the most recent alert that came through, but you're going to lose all your history. And another thing is, when you are in history, okay, your screen freezes. Okay, it does not continue to show you new alerts that come through when you're in history. So a lot of times what happens is people will go to history and they may spend about 5 minutes there looking at things, and then when they go back to real time, there's like a 5-minute time frame where you may have missed some alerts. Okay, so that happens a lot too, and because people have argued with me that, and you know, hey, this did not come through mine. I went and looked at history and there it was, but when I went to my real time, well, that's usually what happens because they spent too much time in history, and then when they went back, your alert resets. Okay, it starts over. So you can always go back to history even though it started over and see everything that came through there. But just anytime you go to real time, you're only going to see the last symbol that came through. All right. I think we covered it, Sean.
Wow. Not only have we covered it, but we've got a clean slate. No one's got any questions right now. So either you're doing a fantastic job of explaining things, or people are sitting on a bunch of questions, and let's have them, people. We'd love to tackle what you got.
Yep, by all means. We have plenty of time for any questions. It took almost exactly an hour to get through all that. We will hang out, you know, for, you know, say 5-10 minutes at the most. If you don't have any questions, obviously we're not going to sit around here and stare at each other. We can't do that. But
Yeah, otherwise Andy and I start singing, and you guys don't want that.
Yeah. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome, Mike. Glad to see you in here, man. You probably know this software like the back of your hand.
Well, for those of you who are listening, you know, this is probably a good time to point out that we're doing these training sessions of varying levels every day of the week now. So feel free to come back as often as you'd like to get a refresher, learn something new, or get any questions answered that you would like to get answered. This is our way of making ourselves available to you every day. So we realize that, especially if you're new to the platform, software can sometimes be overwhelming. There's lots of features, there's lots of tools, and we get it. We don't expect you to figure out how to use our software the first day you log in. That'd be wonderful, but it's just not realistic. So we do these classes so we can help you get up to speed as quickly as possible so you can focus on doing what you want to do, and that is making money trading.
Exactly. Good point. Rich has a really good question. What is the purpose of external linking? Does this allow you to trade with a brokerage from within TI? It doesn't allow you to actually trade in a sense where you can execute trades, Rich, but what you can do is, and trust me, I have to have linking, because what it allows you to do is just basically you can click, and just like my charts are changing here, it will also change your charts on your execution platform. And not only that, it'll change your level 2 box, okay? So it's a really quick one-step move to execute a trade. So in other words, if I'm looking at my level 2, I can, you know, or if I'm looking at our software and I click on this, now I know this stock is set up, okay, in my level 2. So it's a really quick to go for me to hit a button, okay, to buy or sell in that level 2. So it just makes it really easy. Otherwise, you're clicking on the software, then you're stopping and having to go to your level 2 window, click on it, type in a symbol, and then execute a trade. Okay, so it can save you if you're an active trader. You know, it could be as much as 3 to 5 seconds. You know, before you're able to, you know, grab your keyboard, click, you know, type in the symbol, and then grab your mouse again, go find the buy button. If you have point and click, you can go find the buy button. So it really makes it nice to just be able to, you know, go around clicking symbols. And when you really get proficient with the software, trust me, you're not even going to hardly ever touch your your execution platform other than to execute a trade, because you can just sit here and click through the symbols and everything's going to change on your execution platform.
Yep. Hey, Andy, we got a question coming from Gary. He wanted us to just kind of review real quick how we arrived at those end of day patterns. That was that new little feature we were talking about.
Absolutely. So guys, let's see, let me pull it up on a T window here. Let's see what I don't have. All right, so this is a T window without any filters, okay? Because all I want to do is basically track all my symbols in my watch list, and this is an ETF watch list, so I don't need filters because all I really need to do is use my very powerful columns. So now if I take a look at this, you can see here, remember there's no filters, so I'm going to get data on every symbol I have in my watch list because I just use the power of columns. All right, anytime you have a watch list and you want to follow it, just set up a top list without any filters in it and then drop your symbol list in this. Okay, the reason I'm kind of prepping you with this going into the question that you asked, Gary, is because let's say now I wanted to create a watch list of all the stocks that had dark cloud cover yesterday. I can go to symbol list, add existing list, scroll down until you find the daily. That means this is a daily pattern, okay? Keyword there, daily. Okay, this is not looking for anything intraday today. It's looking for a daily pattern setup, and these are my patterns. So let's say I want to find stocks that had a dark cloud cover for yesterday. I'm going to click on dark cloud cover. It's going to move it over here under my list, okay? And there's my dark cloud cover. Right now I have this set up on sector ETFs. I'm going to turn that off now and I'm going to put it on dark cloud cover. I'm not sure if we had any dark cloud cover yesterday. It was a very narrow range day, but let's check to see. I'm going to click OK. I'm going to click OK again. Okay, all these stocks yesterday had that pattern, okay? And now I can look here and see, you know, just using my columns, I can see how they're basically acting today. All right, let's see if our dark cloud cover worked. Oh, well, you know what? I'd probably want to put some volume indicators in here. That's no good. That's almost, yeah, I guess, I don't know if that'd be a dark cloud cover. I thought a dark cloud cover had to cover the whole bar.
I got to be honest, I'm not. That's a feature, or that's a pattern I've never heard of. And
Yeah,
I thought I've heard everything.
Typically, let's try something else. Let's go back and let's try. One of the reasons, guys, I don't think we're going to find a whole lot because yesterday was a very narrow range day in the market. So, you know, if you don't get a lot of, let me just go in here real quick and add a configure, because you do want to add a volume, average daily volume. Okay. And let's go look at something else, something we may be more of. Let's go to symbol list, add existing list. Once again, go down and find the daily. And let's look at something that may, well, we probably got a lot of dojis yesterday because it was a doji day in the market. Okay, so remember, I have to take off my dark cloud cover. And now we are going to find doji. Okay, click OK, click OK. Look at all these stocks that dojied yesterday. And now we know at least these have an average daily volume of at least 300,000 over the last 10 days. So we know there's a little liquidity here. And there's your doji. There's your doji pattern. So if you want to just create a simple top list like this, and in the morning before the market opens up, this is great for scanning. You will know that all these had a doji pattern yesterday. There's your doji. Let me make this chart a little bit so you get bigger so you can see it. Here's your doji. Look at that. Basically five down days, a doji, and then a gap and go.
Yeah.
Doji. So there you go, guys. I hope that makes more sense to you there, Gary. Were you able to, Gary, were you able to follow that and know how to get those patterns now? Great, great, good to hear.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
We are doing good work here today, Andy.
Mm-hmm. A little helpful hint. Anytime you get in here, guys, and you start playing around, okay, with your top list like this sector analysis that I've butchered up now, what I want to do is basically go in here and load my default layout so I don't do something stupid like save this. So what I'm going to do is load my layout again. I'm just going to click on default layout, and now I have it back like I want it to be. Is there explanation for symbol list? I'm not sure what you meant by meaning. Let's see. We covered symbol lists, and I'm not sure if it's Steve or maybe it was Sean, but we covered that. Did you cover that, Sean? Did you go over? Or was that Steve that covered that?
The explanation of symbol lists?
Yeah, I think Steve covered that in the 201 trade ideas. 201.
Yeah, that's a 201 topic.
So Armin, if you'll go to our YouTube page, okay, that file that should be uploaded by now. We recorded that yesterday, and Steve goes over the symbol list thoroughly. If you want to, I mean, real quickly, if you want, anytime you want to create a symbol list, the easiest way to do is go to Tools, Symbol List. Okay, you can see all my lists that I have created. If you want to create one, just go to Create New List. You'll name it. Okay, we'll call this Armin. Okay, now anytime you do that, it's going to be blank, and it's going to be at the bottom, and it's going to say empty. And what you want to do is just click on it, Edit List, and then you can start, typing, hitting Enter after each symbol. Or if you have these listed somewhere, you can just, it's like a Word doc here, so you can just copy and paste them in there. Or if you want to load them from a file, you can do that as well. But if you want to in-depth, go see, for example, what to expect from Doji list. Oh, what I would do, Armin, there is just Google. If you see a term that you're not familiar with, in other words, you go in there and you see, gravestone doji or something like that, you don't know what it is, just Google it. That's the best thing to do, and you'll get hundreds of chart examples as soon as you do that in Google. You bet. All right, looks like we are caught up on questions.
Yeah, we got. I mean, we can run for another 19 minutes if people have questions. Please don't be bashful. The floor is yours.
Golly, he's pretty steady today. Market's seeing a little bit of a down move now in the SPYs.
Greg just came in with a question. He says the single stock window can't have anything added to it, right? That actually is wrong, Greg. You can customize the single stock window. If you want to walk them through that real quick.
Yep. So what you can, yes, you can configure a single stock window just like you can an A window or any of your windows. And the way you would do that, just right click and find configure. Okay. And you're going to have a search box. So if you don't, if you know what you're looking for, just type it in there. Say you want to find earnings date. Just start typing in earnings. There's earnings date. I already have that added to mine. Say you want to find how many, short float. Just type it in there, and the way you'll do it is click on say short float percentage, and you want to show column, and it's automatically going to put it in your selected columns over here for you. So yeah, you can add them just like you do into your configuration into an A window or a top list. Now, and what you can also do is do column order, so you can move these around wherever you want them. So in other words, if you want to put distance from VWAP, you don't like it over here, you want to put it on the other side, just go like that. It's going to put it in the other side at the bottom. Then if you want to move it up, you can move it up, move it down, move it to wherever you want to. But yes, Greg, to answer your question, it's very simple. Just remember to right click, configure, and then you can search for, you know, all the filters and just whatever you put in there. Now you can't do obviously alerts in there, but any filter you can put as a column. Hope that made sense to you, Greg.
We had a question just come in from Dave. He says, hello, there are lots of videos in the archives. How do I identify these new training sessions? The short answer on that, David, is we only just began these training sessions about 3 weeks ago, and we only just began recording them this week. So there's probably not a whole lot to choose from in the archives. I'm not even sure. I think Steve may have uploaded yesterday's session up to YouTube. I don't have confirmation on that, but let's see. Andy's going to this YouTube channel here. Let's see if it shows up. Oh, there. Well, look, there it is. TI University 101. So he has put up a couple already. So David, if you go to YouTube and just search trade ideas, which I believe you already have, you should see some 101 and 201 classes up there. I believe I see them. I see them right there. And
TI University.
Yep.
And what a lot of people do not realize, there is a search function, okay, inside YouTube, okay? So if you just put TI University, it's going to pull up for you. So just remember that if you just type in TI University, and they'll all pull up for you. And
there you go, David. I hope that was clear. I hope that makes sense to you. Let us know if that's if you need any more detail. Looks like he's good. All right, Dave. Awesome. Well, we have about 10 minutes to go here, and any other questions, please, the floor is open. Mike wants to know, can we give an expert commentary on the insight of volatility according to VIX and VX? Well, Mike, we certainly could talk about it if we like it. Whether or not that we qualify as experts, I don't know. We certainly had anyone who watches VIX and any of the VIX products and the VIX ETFs, they certainly had a wild ride, 4 or 5 weeks ago that seems to have unwound a little bit, but who knows? Who knows?
Yes, and interesting enough, though, I'm not seeing this. I noticed when the Qs went to all-time highs, about a week ago, and the VIX and the spiders were real close to all-time highs. This is not pulling back like you would have thought it would, like it was doing for the previous 8 years. So what VIX measures is the amount of put volume in the marketplace. Okay, so it's kind of a fear indicator in a sense that people are either protecting their losses or maybe taking a short position by buying puts. So that's what it measures. Okay, now keep in mind this VXX is kind of a toxic ETF in a sense that
they all are.
It was designed, especially the doubles and triples. It's designed to make the people who created them a lot of money, and it does. They can be great when you're on the right side, especially for a period of days, kind of like here when you went up. But over time, they will deteriorate. And
right, they're great intraday trading vehicles, but they're not vehicles that you want to take any long-term directional bet on because it just won't track the way you think it should.
Or even, I mean, I'm not opposed to somebody, maybe taking a 2 or 3 position, because when you work you can really get paid on these if you do time it right, and there is a kind of like a catalyst like we had in the financial crisis back in 2008, 2009, when VIX was trading around 1200 VXX. Yeah, I mean, boy, when you get that kind of, because remember, these things, especially the ultras, the UVXY. So when you do get excessive downward price movement over a period of time, they can really pay you off. But Sean's right. I mean, that's otherwise they will hurt you over time if in a stagnant or a bull market for sure. If you're trading.
And Mike, maybe just to kind of wrap up our thoughts on VIX, I think what you're asking for is, what is VIX trying to tell us right now, or at any time really? And we've the VIX was in a $9 on the low end to 15 or so on the high end range for a good part of the last year. And since we had that volatility explosion in February, we now seem to be sitting in a range of volatility at a low, or VIX at a low of 14 and a high in maybe the low 20s. All that really tells us is there are a lot of players out there in the market that are either hedging against further downside of the markets, or are speculating that there may be further downside of the markets. Now, of course, these are just educated bets. These are no guarantees, but it just shows that with VIX at elevated levels, at least relative to where we've been for the past year, there are more people protecting themselves or hoping to participate in downside. Doesn't mean that downside is coming, but hey, I mean, it's a little sidebar. I mean, in January, we had a very interesting, very unique situation that I hadn't seen in a long time, where in January, the stock market essentially went straight up for almost uninterrupted for 20 straight days, it felt like. I mean, there were a couple small down days, but January went up the whole month. Meanwhile, VIX also tracked up. They were they were highly correlated, which is a very unusual situation. And in that case, somebody knew something, and the VIX players were right, because as we saw in early February, we had a very scary situation for a number of days that you can argue that the VIX telegraphed. But it's, for as many examples as we could cite like that, I'm sure there's as many other examples we could cite where it was a false flag. So take it for what it's worth.
Yes, and I will say this, man, people have been shorting volatility for a very, very long time, and I think that's why you're not seeing, I think there may be a lot of people, covering this volatility, and there's still a huge amount of, shorts in it, and this is a pattern that I'd be careful of if you're shorting volatility, but and also could be a very bullish pattern for VIX. After this move up, you kind of got a little flagging pattern here that if it does, break out of this, trend upward, it could really take off. So I'm not one who would be shorting volatility right now, just from what I see, but I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to get too caught up in that, but I've just noticed it's not deteriorating like it has in the past, and I think maybe some of these long-term volatility short players may be trying to get out of their position.
All right. Well, Dave had a question here. He wanted to know if he to attend further TI University classes, what's the best way to do that? David, I put in the chat section here of your GoToMeeting webinar box. I put the link to the training sessions where you can register for each one. Yes, you do need to register for each one. Totally free, of course, for anyone who's listening. Yeah, you could register for each class, and then you'll get the emails the morning of reminding you of the class and giving you the link to join each one. So I put the link in the chat box for you, David, or for anyone else who would like to access that. It's right there for you. Mike says, "Okay, fine, thanks." On our VIX discussion. I don't know, Mike, does that qualify us as experts? I don't know, probably not. All right,
All right,
folks. Well, we
guys.
got 5 minutes. Yeah, we got 5 minutes. If anyone, last call for questions. Otherwise, we're going to wrap it up and call it a day. And get ready for this FOMC meeting here in about 35 minutes or so.
All right. Mike says, yes, definitely.
All right, Andy, we've earned a new badge today. We are
That's right.
officially VIX experts.
Can you quickly cover how the alerts work? Well, they're pretty self-explanatory, Dave. I mean, if you go to, new real quick, an A window, and really, you probably want to, Dave, go watch that video on Sean's. He kind of goes over events versus filters. An event being an alert. Remember, an alert is something that has to have a timestamp and a price. Okay, if you look at any of these alerts here, alerts are predominantly going to have a white background. You do have some that with a kind of a black, but anytime you see the colors, that's going to be filters, the teal, blue, and the purple. Okay, anything with a white, remember, is an alert. That is something that's going to trigger a timestamp and a price. So the moment that is triggered, okay, it's an event, okay, and if you have this selected as an alert, it's going to basically alert you in real time that the event has occurred. So the main thing to remember is, it's when you first get trade ideas, people sometimes get confused with alerts and filters. Okay, just remember that an alert is something that's going to be an event that occurs, and it's going to alert you in real time. So if you're looking to act quickly on something, in other words, if you're using a momentum alert like my extreme volume and you want to act quickly on it, see it, be one of the first ones to see it, you want to use an alert. Filters are what we use to build our parameters. Okay, remember, you can use filters when building alerts. You do not use alerts when you're building a top list. Top list is all filters. Okay, that's a good way to scan. Okay, so in other words, Trend Change Pro, this is a top list. There's no alert in this, it's only filters. Okay, any stock that satisfies all my filters in here will appear in this top list for me. Okay, so nothing is happening as far as triggering this. Okay, remember, it's just satisfying all the filters. It's a nice move though.
Right, yeah.
I would have liked to have been alerted to that one right there.
Yeah, I always like to say, like, between the top list and the alert window, the top list is just, there's not necessarily anything happening at this moment in time on a stock that's appearing in your top list. It just happens to satisfy all of your filters, whatever they are. Right. And the alert window takes it a step further, because you can have filters in that alert window. But you're only going to see a stock in that alert window when something happens, a trigger happens, and you're going to see it in real time the moment it happens. Mm-hmm. That's it. I mean, that's really the basic nuts and bolts of it. Hope that at least gets you thinking there. David says, thanks, guys. Okay, so I think that was good. And David, as Andy mentioned, we cover that in our 101 classes that takes place on Mondays. So feel free to join us there. You could probably even, since you were asking about YouTube earlier, you could probably even just search alert window on the Trade Ideas page on YouTube and probably find a little video about it there too for more information. Mm-hmm. Well, Andy, what do you say here? We got 3 minutes to go. I
think it's time to wrap it up, because we do have to, we are recording this and we have to get it rendered, and we don't want to go over, because it can take some time and use a lot of bandwidth. So, all right, guys. Well, listen, thank you very much. Thank you for Sean for helping me out today.
Always fun to join you, Andy.
All right. You guys have a great day.
Take care, everybody.
We'll see you.